Animals are a big part of our lives, from cats to dogs. There are thousands of animals in animal shelters across the country. My name is Catherine Galbraith, and I myself have a shelter dog and stray cats, along with a purebred. You should adopt a pet from the animal shelter. Firstly, the shelters are being filled up and there are no more places left for the animals to go. Secondly, if you adopt from a shelter, you're saving an animal's life. And thirdly, if everyone were to adopt from a shelter, less animals would be put down or on the streets. Now let's talk about this problem. Our shelters here in the U.S. are being overcrowded. What is a shelter? According to Learning to Give, shelters for companion animals, another name for pets, developed from impoundments that were common in colonial towns and were used to contain wandering livestock and strays. The shelters here are filling up, and because of this, animals don't have anywhere to go and are being put down or euthanized. According to bestfriends.org, because of overcrowding, more than half, 56%, of the 2,099 cats entering the shelter in 2016 did not make it out. Also, according to bestfriends.org, it wasn't just the extremely sick or injured that were euthanized at the shelter. It was also community cats, aka outdoor, stray, or feral cats, as well as friendly social cats and litters of kittens with treatable illnesses such as upper respiratory infections. My dog Jasper, we got her from a shelter here in Idaho Falls. She's just like any dog. She is a black lab golden retriever mix, which my mom found out by getting a DNA test. We also have a purebred dog, Jessie. She is a Labrador retriever. And we have two stray cats, Pia and Leo. Their mom was fostered by our cousins and our aunt. And we decided that we were going to help them and take two of the cats off of their hands. The shelters are not only full of strays, but also animals who were taken from their owners for reasons like abuse or neglect, or who were returned to the shelters. According to an article titled Adoption and Relinquishment Interventions at the Animal Shelter, a review by Alexandra Propetrova and Lisa M. Gunter, a small portion of dogs in animal shelters are owner confiscations due to abuse or neglect. Macmillan et al. 2015. Also, according to an article titled Adoption and Relinquishment Interventions at the Animal Shelter, a review by Alexandra Propopova and Lisa M. Gunter, a house soiling, destruction, hyperactivity, and fear issues were more prevalent in relinquished dogs than dogs not relinquished. This doesn't only affect those who are looking for a pet or who have a pet. This affects everyone. If these are filled, we will have animals wandering streets, or you will also have animals who were just being put down just because they won't be adopted. It affects everyone in the community. Now that I have told you about the growing population of animal shelters, let's see what we can do. There are different programs such as Return to Field, RTF, or Trap, Neuter, Return, TNR. The RTF is where they capture a cat and they will have it spayed or neutered and they will put it back where they found it. According to the ASPCA, to be considered for the RTF program, the cat must be an unowned, ineligible, or unlikely to be as successful in an adoption program, with rare exceptions. Social cats admitted to the animal shelters should be routed into adoption programs, be able to be returned to the location where they were found, and appear to have been thriving in their previous environment without knowing the known threats to their safety. Also, according to ASPCA, if a cat qualifies for an RTF program, the services provided to the cat are similar to those of a TNRM program, meaning vaccination, sterilization, ear tipping, and microchipping. TNR program is like the RTF programs. According to alleycat.org, in a trap-neuter return program, community cats are humanely trapped with box traps, brought to a veterinarian to be spayed or neutered, vaccinated, ear-tipped, the universal sign that a community cat has been neutered and vaccinated, and then returned to their outdoor home. My solution to fixing this problem is to adopt from a shelter and not buy from a breeder. If you adopt from a shelter, you're helping more than one animal, because when you adopt an animal, you're opening up a cage for another animal to be put in, so that they are off the streets and out of danger. According to the HumaneSociety.org, overburdened shelters take in millions of strays, abused and lost animals every year, and by adopting an animal, you're making room for others. According to Helping Hands Humane Society, Inc., when you adopt a pet from a shelter, you assist a not-for-profit organization, but also send a message to others who will be asking you for years to come where you obtained your adorable pet. Also, through adoption, you are not supporting puppy or kitten mills. According to Helping Hands Humane Society, Inc., throughout the country, thousands of commercial pet breeding facilities and backyard breeders produce millions of animals for sale in pet stores or through newspaper ads. Also, according to Helping Hands Humane Society, Inc., these unfortunate animals are often in intolerable environments, forced to produce litter upon litter, and are destroyed after they become an unprofitable asset. Some people believe that when you adopt from a shelter, you don't really know what you're getting. But you can and get what you want. According to PetFinder.com, shelters maintain waiting lists for specific breeds, so you don't be afraid to ask. They're also afraid that the animal will have health problems or maybe mental problems from what happened before. Also, according to PetFinder.com, at the very least, you can ask the staff if the pet was an owner surrender rather than a stray, and if so, what the former owner said about him or her. Also, according to PetFinder.com, remember all pets, even 8-week-old puppies and kittens, have distinct personalities. Those will either jive with your home and lifestyle or not. Now you know what the other side says about adopting a pet from a shelter versus a breeder. Finally, imagine you are in a cage, in a room, and all you hear are the cries of others, just wanting to be loved, just wanting a place to belong. Now imagine you're in a bigger room, full of barks of excitement, wanting to play, wanting to run around, wanting to belong. If you adopt, that room grows quieter. That same room has more empty cages. Adopting a pet is less expensive than buying from a breeder. The animal shelters are working hard to help these animals find homes, and the outcome of adopting is a good one. Animals in shelters are looking for homes for people to love them. Now you know that animal shelters are being overcrowded, leaving animals with nowhere to go and ultimately being euthanized. You know that a way that you can help is by adopting from a shelter instead of buying from a breeder. You know by adopting from a shelter, you're helping more than one animal. Head over to your local Humane Society or animal shelter to adopt your next best friend.